Hello everyone, welcome to this new video. In this video I'm going to show you the out of bounds of Wreckfest tracks. Now we can spend ages to finding all the out of bounds in this track, so I just picked some of my favorite and hope you guys enjoy it. Alright, so now this is the Big Valley Speedway. Now here's the out of bound glitch. How you can perform is it's just go to any mode of the game and select a favorite track, and before starting the game, or at least you can play some tracks, but it doesn't matter, but pause the game and go to the photo mode, and after the photo mode you can go to the free cam mode, and here you can move freely. Also use to hide the UI to make your camera move freely. And here's some of the things that I don't understand about this. However, you are in the photo mode, you still can't get through some walls, like the invisible walls that blocking us from the view from it, so you can't get through past. But also here, as you can see, some of the things that are may not visible to the player through by the walls of the racetrack, but in here you can perfectly see this. Here's the track manager. Let's see how this track going, and here's some of the scenery cars you can see around here. And also one thing that to notice in this game, or just specifically this track, is that there is a fully mapped pit stop way, or what I say, I don't know, in NASCAR they say pit stop is there, but you can't really enter there as the walls are blocking it. So I think what could really be done. And also safe pit stop can be found in another map, and we will come to that later. Now enjoy this. Alright, now we are in the Boomfield Speedway. In this track you can see that's plenty of things, and it is very open wide track in here, and you can see some of the fields have been growing on also. And also here's the scenery vehicles and cars you can see. But one thing is that there's still an invisible wall that blocking us, and I think in here the last track, the Big Valley Speedway, was having walls, so we can't access those areas, but in here it is very open. So if you drag your cars to them, your car just, the game automatically responds your car back to the track. They just reset your car back to the track, so that's why their walls are made. But yes, you can see in here, but why they left those things in the first the Big Valley Speedway track, I don't know, maybe whatever they're thinking of. But here as you can see, this pathway leads in here, and here's a small shaft like thing, just say, and here's a tower for control of the lights. And as you can see the lights. Well, the fun fact is, every track in the game, doesn't matter are you playing in the championship career or multiplayer or even the custom level maps, you can't select your tracks from the night circle. So I don't know why they left it in here. So, and you can see there's a yellow car, the Audi, I believe so, it's Audi A4 I think. And here's the small tent in here, and so many people are gathering in here, as you can see. Alright, let's move on to the next track, as nothing much in here can be very much important to here. So let's move on to the next track. Alright, so now we are in the Bone Breaker Valley, and this track is also kinda like very small track and has only one map. So you can see there's some cars in here, there's RV, and also some small shacks in here. But the thing is, you can go inside these shacks and view all of this in here, and there's small tents all over the places you can see. And also the standing one where the announcer just announced our act on this race. And here's some toilet seat, the portable toilet seats, and here's some mini trucks, so many people around here. And there's Simon's billboard, TRT tires, Simon's T and force equipped Okay, and here's the classic racer stand. I think it's hot dog stand, so by the name of classic racer. And here's the also stand that you can guess it, but unfortunately we can't go there because I said it earlier, I make there are invisible walls that blocking us from going in there. Let's specify it. And here's this bulldozer, I just say some of the tank, and there's nothing very much to be told in this map, but the good thing is we can go higher in the sky, so not just bounded to here. As you can see, here's the ambulance, and the other way we get here's the standing on the paper shoes. So there's nothing much to here. Here's the forest, is kind of like forest, and the small pathway that's going down to here. You can see it is, and there's nothing much to be shown in this track, although it's my personal best is this, so I take it in this list. So let's move. Alright, so now we are in the Boulder Bank circuit, and here you can see the main thing that I want to show you. Just like in the Big Paris Speedway, here this track also have a pit stop view. As you can see in here, there's really a long pit stop view, but unfortunately none of the half of the players community and the AI vehicles use this, so how can the player also know about this game? And I recently know about this through this free camp view, just showing it now that this thing also exists, and I don't know about it. And also the exit of the speeds to have quite difficult, as you have to maneuver your vehicles so tightly, because there are some what I was call it, let's just say wall type thing on the exit of the pitch, so the exit become kind of like tighter. But if you drive very smoothly and maneuver very good, even the big rigs, the biggest vehicle in the game, could also be go through this wall. And here you can see some of this pedestrian or is a spectator in this game. Here some cars and also this shack. And one thing that I'm going to show you now is this little garage in here, and I don't know, but the player bases know about this garage, even though this garage is located far beyond it, that fluency players can see it. And not only this one, there's also some other garage in there. And here's some of the cars that you can see in here. I wonder what car would that be. Here's the second garage. As you can see, it's here, right in here, and it's also the same model as the previous one. Two unfolding cars that are beyond to known to the existence of the players, and there's nothing more than just a tent of Yasen or whatever you call it. And here the wall that I'm talking about, as you can see in here, there's nothing like such that thing in it. Here's the some of the things. And also this track have four set, two main course like the normal one from short and long, and their reverse respected variant. So total of 4 set of tracks in here in this particular map. So if you load the short one, the longer one is also loaded. However, the walls are blocking it, and the reset spawner thing also blocking it. However, the main thing is you can move freely through here, and there is spawner can't be blocking you in here, as you can see. And I've been going through there so long, and it just ends in here. Here's the track that also we can't be going through there, but one thing is that I can go upwards and see what's the thing that belongs it. And you can see that it's end in the middle of nowhere, in the mid air. It just ends and it never continues. But I thought that would be funny that it's going through a long way, it continued, but no, it never continued. So on to the next track. So now here on a track called Sebulak Sandpit, and my second track on this game. And as you can see, the layout of one is kinda like in here through the things of this spectator. You can see there's nothing much to be shown from here, but if you can go through this starting, or let us say I'm just loading the reverse one, but it's all same. If you just load up the standard one, doesn't change anything else. And if you go to the reverse version in here, you can see there are so many things that are changing. Like there is a construction site in here in this map, and you can see in here there's a construction site. So some roads are blocked, also in the roads are blocked in here. So there's nothing to see in this map, although I'd say it's my second favorite track in the game, so I make an add to this one. Alright, on to the next one, and it is my favorite one. It's called the Hill Street Circuit, and I believe it's based on the San Francisco, as San Francisco known as the city of hills, but the building structure doesn't look like. Anyway, here's the freaking is about the city's layout, as you can see in here. And there are kind of like 3 city map in this game: the Hill Street Circuit, the Motor City Center, something like that, and the Black City from the Carmageddon series, as you know from there. And you can see this here, there's so much of these cities being built. However, most of the tracks doesn't let you view the beautiful wonderscape of the developer. I believe they made these things look so spectacle, like the free roam mode whenever you access the Bliss City. This also we make through the San Francisco, but it was capped in this Hill Street Circuit, but it was capped loosely after that. So I believe it's just a piece of beta content in here. As you can see, there's so much cars, there's so much streets on here, but you can't access it normally. There's a wall that blocking you if you enter from the car mode, or if you just freaking there invisible wall that is blocking you. So that's why you can move it clearly onto this. And here's this little pathway, like park type thing, and doesn't was shown around other than this huge city, but unfortunately we can't feel the beautiness of this map because the invisible wall is blocking us from there. So let's move on to the next map. Alright, so we are now in the Motor City Circuit, but unlike the Hill Street Circuit, this map is kinda like less detailed, as you probably guess the developer didn't want to be a free roam at this point. But unlike the other maps like the Big Ferry Speedway and Boulder Bank Circuit, this circuit also have a pit stop. Yes, there's also have a pit stop, but one thing about this pit stop is that you can access it normally through the game. Unlike the Boulder Bank Circuit, you can access it, but in here you can't even access the pit stop in this game. You can see here there are also some like minor details that we made. Here's the Beers News 9 event, and also as you can see, this developer clearly wanted to make the scene looks like you are racing on a city track, the city circuit track, where these roads are blocked for pretty normal civilian vehicles, whereas it's been held on. So as you can see, here's now the Boulder Bank City. Here's at the sound of warehouse that I've been that you can find in here, and here's some of the streets of that. The tent come here, the sponsor and some spectators are watching, and you can see this thing in here. And also here's the pit stop that I've been talking about. As you can see, some of the walls are just grounded it in here. Here's the start from straight line and the pit stop. As you can see, these things are also modeled, so I believe they were making something like a NASCAR type race, but later disproved this thing, and the only real name is this thing just modeled around here. As you can see, this kind of long speed stop. On to our next. Okay, let's move. Alright, so now we are in the Pine Hills Raceway, and also there's nothing to be seen, nothing to be special to be shown in this video, but you know, it's my favorite track, so I just put it in here. But as you can see, his is the only map that you can go far beyond the edges of this map. Not only this map but also some maps, but this map is like high poly Wreckfest map, but other maps you can go that are ported from other games, racing games map, and which can be shown later in this video. Now here's this warehouse. As you can see, there's nothing inside of it, and you can see that in here these things and this forest things, and you can literally go out of bounds. There's no wall to prevent you from going over there, so I just wondered why they removed it, that case. So there's nothing to be shown in this map, so let's just move on to the next one. Alright, so this is the first and most favorite track in this Wreckfest. It's called the Midwest Motor Center, and to obviously know what I show you, but here this thing, there's nothing to be shown in here. As you can see, there's the spectators grandstand, and here's again a similar pit system or whatever you call it, the pathway. But one thing about this is that this pathway never connected to the original route. I mean, it's connected, but it's likely the wall is present. You can see this road, the outside road, the highway underline, it's going, and the pathway, the pit stop, let's just say, never connected to the main racetrack, and the AI opponents use this thing. So I don't know why they left it out there. This isn't a similar map like the shorter one, the reverse one, to use this pathway. So I'm just wondering why do they bother to keep up in way. I know there are some racetracks in the game where you can see the branching pathway, but this one does nothing, so it doesn't make me wonder to why do it. So, and here's some of the anomalies on honorable mention you can see in here. So there's nothing to be shown around except that the pit stop, the secret pit stop or pathway, whatever say it. And let's move on to the next. Alright, now we are in the Brick City. As I said earlier, there's a map for Brick City, but it's the only map in the game. Not only the map, but this map is ported from the other game called the Carmageddon game, the first one. As you can see, the Brick City is from the first Carmageddon game, but the special thing about this map is that it has the free roam mode, but this isn't the only map in this game. The other map having the free roam mode is the Devil's Canyon, which I will show later. But also these maps have like boundaries which can't be, like there's no invisible wall, so there's no boundary as you can go through the map. And the water section, as you can see, the underwater, there is no, in the normal game you can simply go underwater with the car, but here you can see there are some like object, the track cars type object in here. I'm not going to say the AI opponent because there are no cars work in this way, so it's very low poly in the game. But originally the model are from a 1997 game, so you can make the compromise on here. And as I said earlier, this map has no boundaries, so you can go through the other sides just like the boulder, just like the sandbox sandpits map. So let's move on to the other map. Alright, so here we now in the dirt split different canyons map, and also like the Black City map, there is no boundaries of wall to prevent you from going out of bound. As you can see in here, there is no I can move freely through the out of bounds in here, but you can't do it in the other Wreckfest maps. So also there is nothing much to be shown in this game, but one thing to be sure that you can freely move through in this map. There are some walls to prevent you, but they are located some these things like the gateway of where you can see the big gate is closed and you can go through the wall. The games reset your car back to the track, and also that thing exists in here, but you still can go through the other parts of this map. So I wonder why the developers just left through those corners but not this one. So as you can see, there's nothing to be done here, so let's go on to the next map. Alright, so here now the last map of this video, and here's my favorite map and also the most hated map in this community, probably known for this why you don't make racetrack for low poly. And this map is called the Rally Trophy, and this also is the map where you can move your camera freely, and there are some corners like the road blockage where you can't go normally. And I also look through the free camera that there's also you can go through normally on this map. And here you can see this pathway through where it's gained, and let's get through there. And you can see some of the grass field landmines on the grass fields, and there's a loop area. I don't know which game this track is, so I think it's calling make dirt or calling make rally than 90s the PS1 PS2 version, because that game has so many low body. Here's a small track shaft, and here's this dirt path going through there, as also the player cannot access through this path because it's out of bound to the racetrack. So let's move on through here, and here's the road that I've been talking about. As you can see, that is the road. This is the blockage that you can't break through here, and if you go through there, as you can see, I can go freely. There's no wall to be preventing, but the road surrounding ends, so there's nothing to be shown in here. And here's some of the crosses that look like this. I thought this road will be leading somewhere else or be a new pathway, just like the pit stop or the secret way to be accessed here, but no, it just ended in the middle of nowhere. So